Welcome to Gates of Transformation, a platform for transformational leaders, visionaries, and everyday people standing at the threshold of change.
Hello, viewers. Welcome again to another episode from your favorite channel, Gates of Transformation. We are continuing from where we left off in the last episode. And if you missed that one, please watch it before you continue. I cannot emphasize our appreciation for your relentless support of this channel. If you are new here, welcome. And please don't leave without plugging in by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing the channel with your friends and your network. We have new subscribers today. With every episode, we are registering new subscribers. Thank you. We have new subscribers in the house. Can we celebrate that? Thank you and welcome to the family. I cannot forget to mention, our committed and relentless supporters, those of you who continue to like and comment and share our content. I am super grateful to all of you. Thank you for your support. Well, the series, The Pathway to a Transformed Africa, continues. With the topic today, we are continuing also foreign aid in the mirror. Foreign aid in the mirror. I hope you enjoyed the last episode, which actually laid the foundation, a very solid foundation for that matter, for the direction we are headed today. If you are drawn to discussions about leadership, transformation, nation building, Africa and development, then Gates of Transformation is your hub. And we welcome you. Thank you for being here. Now let's dig in. Let's dive in. Let's dig in. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. Are you ready to go to part 2 of Foreign Aid in the Mirror? Are you ready? I hope you are. Well, during the last episode, I left you with some stimulating food for thought, which proposed that it takes a system to beat a system. Further, I didn't only stop there. I also challenge you that if we want freedom, we want advancement, we want to enjoy a corrupt-free continent, we want to take back our nations, we want to disconnect from the umbilical cord of colonial masters, then we must move beyond conferences and speeches. We must move beyond communique to creating systems of governance that can prompt dependence on aid and the colonizer. Yes, I am very much aware. Don't get me wrong. I have been working for years, traveling to different nations in the continent, researching, reading, talking to people, watching videos. I have been educated, and I am still on that journey of working in the continent of Africa, serving in different nations. And with every nation that I step into, I am learning. I am learning a lot. I am very much aware that the suggestion or proposal to end foreign aid dependency in Africa is a very bitter pill to digest. Very bitter pill. I have attempted to have several conversations with several Africans, and it always seems like some agree that we can live without it and others disagree that we can live without it. So this makes it a very bitter pill to swallow. In fact, some people take offenses at just the mention of it, that we should end foreign aid, because they believe that people will die and children and women will suffer without foreign aid in Africa. You know what? I will not dispute it. Considering that many of the African nations are being operated on aid, I will not dispute it. That if aid stops all of a sudden, If aid ceases, lives will be lost. I believe it. However, I want to encourage you with this. If we really want to experience freedom, we will have to be prepared to go through a wilderness experience, because the pathway to the land of freedom and promise is the wilderness. No pain, no gain, Africa. We cannot eat our cake and have it. We cannot want the colonial master to be brought to justice, but they are the ones paying our utility bills. That does not really make sense to me. Yes, I know this topic will actually hit a very sensitive nerve for some people. I understand. I get it. I understand that many people in Africa would not have built houses, would not have owned cars, will not have sent their children overseas to study, or will not have even been able to travel far and wide without the system of foreign aid, without the system of funding and the system of projects. I get it. But the message here is this: we cannot completely depend on foreign aid. I'm not saying that we should not have foreign aid. I'm just saying that we should not build a nation on foreign aid. We cannot run a nation on foreign aid. That is disaster waiting to happen. So the big elephant in the room is this. Do you know what the big elephant in the room is? How can nations in the continent of Africa wean from the king's delicacies? The king's table has so many delicious stuff. Ooh, delicious. In fact, ask the people who left Egypt. They cried. They wept. They were hungry. They were starving. They remembered the taste of the cucumbers and the leeks and the onions. They kept burping all along the way, and every time they burped, they could smell the taste. They could taste the cucumbers and the onions and the leeks. They could taste it. So the king's delicacy is not easy to walk away from. That's why I'm asking this question. How can nations in the African continent wean from the king's delicacy? Well, first, I must be clear that this is possible. It's a possibility. But it requires putting the house in order. It requires that we put our house in order by first creating a functional system of governance that will propagate the new culture of independence. Yes, that's what's needed. Trust me when I say that independence from aid is not as impossible as we may believe. It is very possible. So here's my gift to Africa. What I'm about to share is my gift to Africa. And this is a pathway to freedom from the system of high foreign aid dependency. It's a gift. So you can take it or leave it. But I hope that you do take it. See, the heads of states, their cabinets and leaders in all sectors can employ what I call the 7 robust strategies to mitigate foreign aid dependency. 7 foreign aid strategies to mitigate foreign aid dependency. Strategy number 1 is strengthen local institutions. These local institutions we have in the nations can foster economic diversification. The institutions can mobilize domestic resources and promote good governance on those resources. Let me tell you something. If the people, the citizens of nations in the African continent are granted ownership of the resources, they will be motivated to steward them. That's right. Trust me on that. Strategy number 2, natural and human resource mobilization, which can easily help to drive sustainability. In a way, even this natural and human resource mobilization can mold the citizens to build a resilience to self-reliance. So people will not always look to where help can come from, but seeing how they can be helpful in the situation, how they can help their own nation. When people are empowered, they will stop looking at where help should come from and start looking at how they can help. Number 3, establish political and economic agency, which involves building the capacity of the people to influence political outcomes and economic processes. Let me tell you, if citizens in the nations and the diaspora are empowered to participate and shape political decisions, if they are empowered to hold the governing authorities accountable, and they are empowered to drive production and distribution of goods and services, then there can be lessened foreign interference. This is the way forward. This is the way out. Number 4, strategy number 4, create customized national development plans. Africa, craft your own development pathway to encourage self-driven growth. African leaders need to stop depending on imported solutions to solve local problems. It won't work. It will never work. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. This culture of copy and paste from one nation or one continent to another will not really be effective, because even though the challenges that are faced in African nations are similar, trust me, the solutions may require different approaches. So we cannot continue to borrow, copy and paste national development plans. We need to craft one based on the issues and the challenges that exist in a particular nation, and also the vision where that nation wants to go. And besides just having the national development plan on paper, there also needs to be a plan to finance the development of the nation. There needs to be a plan to finance this development from capital markets. Africa needs to start paying her own bills, period. That is the way forward. Strategy number 5, adopt a culture of responsibility, which will require creating a structure for responsible aid utilization to eradicate dependency, corruption, and waste. If only some of you are aware of how the aid money is handled, if only you are aware, you will not sleep. You will have insomnia. We need to breed a culture of responsibility, because we need people who are at these gates to stop the waste, to eradicate corruption, and eradicate dependency. I believe that, I personally believe that if the governments and institutions are assigned the payment of electric bills and water bills. Like I shared with you, I've been to many nations in the African continent, and I have seen waste at its highest level. Waste. Offices left with lights on all night. ACs, left throughout the day, even when people are not in the office. And they are blowing at high speed. And most of the people that are turning on lights and the AC, some of them don't even have the ACs in their homes. That is why if the government institutions are assigned the payment of these electricity and water bills, I have seen water taps left running, water draining water everywhere. Nobody cares. So if government institutions, these ministries, these government institutions, if they are assigned the payment of electric and water bills from their coffers, from their budget, if they are told that out of this budget you're given, you will be responsible for paying your bills for the entire year, I can tell you that their staff will be held accountable to switch off the lights, to switch off the air conditioners and the taps when they leave for the day. I can tell you this. Strategy number 6. We need to scale up industrialization, which will require huge investments in processing plants to process raw materials locally, to interrupt the importation market and build labs in the nations to test, to innovate, to create and create locally to boost the economy. Yes, we need processing plants. We need labs. We cannot be sending samples from one nation in the continent of Africa all across the continent to another nation in the West for testing. That is an error. That's a waste of resources. That is too expensive. We need to use some of this foreign aid money to build processing plants and labs. Scale up industrialization. Strategy number 7. Invest in modernized technology. Yes. Robust technology, up-to-date technology, moving with the time technology, which will require that governments engage the people who understand this world, encourage the use of relevant technology. We need this. We cannot continue to have people who know nothing about technology leading our sectors. It's an error. We will always be backward in that case. To move forward, we have to bring people who are knowledgeable, and we have to be willing to invest in relevant technology. You know, I believe that, and I hope that you will agree with me, that these 7 strategies I've gifted Africa are relevant in facilitating the transformation we desire to experience. Let me caution you, though, that the strategies cannot flourish in the absence of knowledgeable and visionary people who will commit to free the people of their nation and continent from bondage. That is required. This is the pathway to a transformed Africa. And I hope that your nation will consider adopting the proposed 7 strategies. Listen, please do not leave this channel without clicking the links in the description below. There you will also find the link to our website where you can access resources, books that will help you to improve your leadership, to scale up your leadership. And also you'll be able to access our services, whether it is speaking, whether it is training, coaching, or consulting services. You can also reach out to us and connect with us using the links in the description below. Also, don't forget to like, to comment, and to share this channel with others. We are counting on you to reach the four corners of the world and also the four corners of the continent. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. See you soon.